People used to think that noise pollution was sort of a benign form of pollution. Didn't do anybody any harm, it dissipates. No, it does not dissipate. These sound waves that we hear are leaching down into the substrata of the Earth's crust. They are collecting in invisible sound pools, and that energy has to be released somewhere. It's going to make an exacerbation of the seismic threat.
Okay, now this happens though all over the country.
All over the country.
New York City,
right.
Chicago.
Let's look at where it's most concentrated.
Earthquakes in San Francisco.
Just slow. I know this may come as a surprise to you.
I'm just seeking. I'm seeking to understand.
Well, it's that kind of seeking that we want to validate.
And our viewers, frankly, are
our
seeking
viewers
to understand.
who might be seekers as
well.
well.
The Fogtown Network audience.
All right. The larger concentration, our urban metropolitan centers, which, let's face it, are teeming with sound.
Yes.
In the 20th century, we have to look at each of those, all the way from New York to Omaha to Chicago to Los Angeles, San Francisco, and around the world. All right, San Francisco. Here we've got car alarms, highest rate of car alarm ownership in North America per capita. And if you look in the
worst
3
earthquakes,
years,
absolutely the worst earthquakes.
If you look in the 3 years preceding the 89 7.1 Richter jolt, you see a logarithmic increase in car alarm sales here in the Bay Area. Yeah. Now, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to put two and two together. And that's what our group of scientists and laymen have done, is to look at the Bullock-Wilkinson hypothesis, to look at the hypothesis about insurance.
Insurance.
Our search of the literature.
Yeah, is quite clear.
It's quite clear.
That insurance is like a little thought balloon sent out into the world, Mark. When you purchase earthquake insurance, essentially you're making a bet. You're betting that something bad is going to happen to you, and you want it to happen so that you can collect a large amount of money, now don't you? Now for all of you who've purchased policies...
But the connection between this and an earthquake...
Well, think about it. Think about it now. You're making this bet. Thought creates reality. We know that here in San Francisco.
You are affirming a possibility of earthquake.
So the more insurance we purchase, the more tragedy we beget. It's just like the bumper strip, visualize world peace. We've brought about world peace by just driving our cars with the right bumper strip on them, just by keeping that thought present in the driver's mind.
Cold War is over.
And that's why we've created our own bumper strip. Hal, if you could bring that out now and show that to Mark.
This is our bumper strip, which you're seeing on automobiles throughout the...
End unwanted seismic activity.
Maybe the camera could get a...
We believe that by keeping that thought present in the driver's mind, present in people's minds day in and day out, we can keep those positive vibrations moving towards a tranquil geologic structure.
There are 3 pre's.
This was something I missed in the book.
Let me see if I can clarify.
It's a lot to read, Mark. It's a lot to read.
It's a lot to digest.
Yes.
It's a lot to digest.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can...
The 3 pre's, Hal.
There's prevention, prediction, and preparedness. Earthquake prevention,
preposterousness as well.
Well, some of our critics are certainly preposterous. Now, let's start with prevention. Prevention is our name, California for Earthquake
Obviously,
Prevention.
we're in favor
of prevention. Now we go to prediction. We're against prediction because it spawns the worst kind of pseudoscience and quackery. All right. And now let's move on to preparedness.
Preparedness, this whole notion that we can be ready for an earthquake and sort of ameliorate the problem when it comes anyway.
Sure.
That's preparedness. And it's quite a racket. You see, there's a lot of contractors now going around knocking on doors saying, we can help you keep your house intact after an earthquake. Well, I don't want the earthquake to happen in the first place. What would you prefer? No more earthquakes or some more earthquakes? We're offering you an end to unwanted seismic activity in our lifetimes. And you're saying, well, I'd rather take the liberal approach and say, well, I'm not so sure, so why don't we just have little earthquakes, fewer earthquakes, earthquakes over there. Maybe it's somebody else's country. Mark, that's the liberal approach.
We need to take a radical, rethinking, thought pioneer approach to this problem.
Preparedness is admitting defeat. And we've changed our position on this 3rd pre. We're now officially neutral.
The old tired ways of earthquakes and pestilence and warfare we want to leave them behind as so much baggage from the past. We are, look, Mark, if you just look at the last 10 years in Northern California, you see the embracing of all kinds of new ideas, new spiritual ideas, Zen, new culinary ideas like balsamic vinegar and frozen yogurt, new cultural ideas like nipple piercing. We are here at the center a rising tide
So, you know,
of ideas. And we want to ride that tide with something that will actually improve our lives collectively. Some way that we can say, we've had enough earthquakes.
I used to dream of setting pretty in the foggiest part of town.